everyone, it's Holmes from Home Storybooks, and I am here today to give you a TBR or a to-read pile for 2 readathons and 1 read-along that I'm taking part in March. The read-along I'm taking part in is hosted on Instagram, hosted by Joe from All Weather Reader, and it is for The Female Man by Joanna Russ, which is one of the books I'm reading for my 20th Century Queer project, where I read 100 queer or trans books published in the 20th century. The Female Man is science fiction, set around 4 women, all living in different realities, and I think they all converge. It's very gay, it's all about utopias where men never existed. I'm curious, I'm hopeful, I'm slightly skeptical. I really think the cover is weird, but the text on the inside is this lovely old serify font, so I love that. I am also taking part in Middle Grade March and March of the Mammoths. Ambitious? Maybe. Foolhardy? Definitely. My thought was kind of to break up really lengthy novels with middle grade books because middle grade is usually really fast-paced, captivating, and middle grade is usually the type of book I read if I'm in a reading slump. But I feel like only on the bookish side of the internet would we be like, yes, the thing that will help me read is more reading. Like, true, but still. Middle Grade March does have challenges. I'll put them down below. I'm not going to follow them because I went with what my library had. 2 of my Lemony Snicket books came in, and they are File Under 13 Suspicious Incidents, which is a short story collection set in his Stained by the Sea series, with his young investigator self as the narrator. The first page and the back of the book both have a "unless you're part of our super secret organization, don't you dare read this book," and what could be more inviting, honestly. I'm looking forward to his humor and to see how he crafts little mysteries in short stories. Full disclosure, I started this last night and I'm already well into it, so I might finish it before March, but I am enjoying it a lot. And then after that, I'm going to finally finish the series Why This Night is Different from All the Other Nights. I've been itching to pick this 4th and final book up. I cannot wait. The Birchbark House by Louise Erdrich is about Omakayas, a 7-year-old Native American girl of the Ojibwe tribe, and her life through the joys of summer and the perils of winter on an island in Lake Superior in 1847. It is supposed to be a response to Little House on the Prairie, but of course it's Erdrich, so it's so much more than that. I've never read any of her, and maybe starting with her middle grade isn't the best, but also I've been wanting to read it. The next one I want to read is Thornhill by Pam Smy. This was a book I was just so inspired to pick up off the shelves. It's all about 2 girls in alternate storylines. There's a ghost or a girl in a window. Part of it is illustrated and part of it is written in like a diary format. It just looks so wonderfully, like deliciously spooky and really inspired by Jane Eyre, so I couldn't not go home with it. The other book I want to read for Middle Grade March is The Mysterious Benedict Society by Trenton Lee Stewart. This is about orphans in a big spooky house. Again, the big spooky house theme, but they're all so well written in middle grade. It's got secret agents, orphans, and it was super popular with young children at my library, so I had to check it out. I have 2 more that I could read for Middle Grade March, and they are The Tea Dragon Festival by Katie O'Neill, which is actually bigger than I thought it would be. It is the sequel to O'Neill's stunning book, The Tea Dragon Society. I am anticipating magic, dragons, tenderness, balance, beautiful end papers, and illustrations. The last book I could totally read is one I haven't picked up yet. This book is Anti-Racist by Tiffany Jewell. It is a middle grade book all about identity, accountability, activism, and lots of other things, but for young kids. I feel like kids have a really excellent understanding of fairness and justice, and so I want to explore this book to see how this book handles talking about really big concepts. March of the Mammoth only has 1 challenge over the entire month, and that is that you have to read a book over 800 pages long, which, when you think about it, lots of books, while substantial, are not mammoths and are not over 100 pages long. Lots of my favorite books are really big. I've loved The Secret History by Donna Tartt, the iconic, atmospheric, compulsive campus novel with the unreliable narrator, which comes in at 559 pages. I loved Les Miserables by Victor Hugo, expansive and brilliant, and one of the most rewarding books I've ever read. I recently just finished North and South by Elizabeth Gaskell after putting it down just before Margaret Hale, the heroine, and Mr. Thornton, the hero, meet. I put it down for years, and I was so close to so many beautifully crafted scenes. This comes in at 521 pages, depending on your edition. I adored this one. It was an inspired buddy read with a friend, Val from Val Reads, and it had us both swooning, giggling, sending frantic voice messages to each other. It was a time. On top of incredibly well-crafted chapters, characters, and dialogue scenes, North and South has commentary on social class, authority, gender, poverty, and all those things. So if you like a romance with unions, this one's for you. I've already started In Search for Lost Time by Marcel Proust that I will probably work my way through in March. I've started Swan's Way, the first novel in his 6 or 7 book series, which is a total of 4,211 pages. 4,000. The first book is only 492 pages, but I feel like I know the books as like one monolith book. I think the first page is one of the most iconic in literature in that there's like rarely any full stops used. One of the hosts of the readathon, Al from Big Al Books, just read and did a wonderful review of Marcel Proust and also her misconceptions and preconceived ideas about the book. So I will be listening to that on audiobook. I am on chapter 9 of 137 of the first book. So I'll be honest, I'm not loving it right now, but I don't think I've given it enough of a chance yet. I am 1/20th of the way through the book, and it just now circled back to the first image he opened the book with, so I think I need to give it more time. I've also started Tess of the D'Urbervilles by Thomas Hardy, which I know is so good and so commanding and so atmospheric. Hardy's prose about the English countryside is so vivid and stunning, but the characters are so sad. Really miserable. My heart can't take it. I need happy endings. And this book definitely doesn't have one, so I'm just gonna quietly read it and work my way through it. For the rest of my TBR, it really is a mystery. I want to leave it open because it really depends on what I feel like. Maybe I'll want to read an adventure book like The Count of Monte Cristo by Alexandre Dumas, which is 1,276 pages, or Don Quixote by Miguel de Cervantes, which is 1,023 pages. Maybe I'll want to read a sprawling epic about town and society like Middlemarch by George Eliot, which is 964 pages. Maybe I'll read a family saga about women and their lush, turmoil-filled lives like Anna Karenina by Leo Tolstoy at 976 pages, or Cecilia by Frances Burney at 1,056 pages. Cecilia by Frances Burney and I think also Evelina by Frances Burney were both recommended to me by Ron Litt, who was a former YouTuber who made incredibly articulate videos and still has an influence over what I read and why, even though her most recent video was 5 or 6 years ago. Anyway, I'd love to hear from you if you read or enjoyed any of these books. Let me know, especially if you loved it, and maybe I'll do a little update at the end